Today, I'm putting popular done-for-you blog writing tools to the test. Tools like machined.ai or jasper.ai to see, do they provide a better bang for your buck than doing some DIY things through like ChatGPT's, trained GPTs that we create or use from other users, and Claude AI projects that also allow us to train the tool to do blog posts for us. If you're interested in other videos like this, make sure you click subscribe down below and get subscribed to this series, AI versus DIY, and also click the notification button so when a new video comes out, you'll know right away. If you're interested in all things AI for your business, make sure you head over to businessaiinsights.com for more tools and resources all about AI for your business. So to kick things off, I just want to throw this out there. There are a ton of blog writing AI tools out there. I mean, this is mind-boggling. And that's sort of part of the point of this series, is to try to distill that down. So you don't have to spend all of your time doing research and spend more of your time actually doing. I will say this, I have not researched every blog writing tool out there. I've used a few, 6, 7, something like that. And I've picked what I like. There's a lot of reasons for them. Sometime maybe we'll do a whole video on it. But for now, I just want to say the key is to find something that works for you and start doing it. I think as you use it, you will learn what you like better and worse and what your flavor is that you like to work with. But the key is to start. Whether it's going to be a tool like we're looking at today, or as we look at later in the video, some DIY options, writing your own prompts and training your own GPTs to write posts for you, whatever it is, doing, I think is really the key to getting started. Here we've got machined, and I'm just going to look at machined and Jasper, and we're really just going to look at Jasper real quick. But if you haven't looked at either of these before, Jasper does a whole lot more than just writing blog posts. You'll see in here, it does everything from image creation, to photo editing, to writing posts, to copywriting, and it goes on. And they have a few different models here. It comes down to the creator or the pro. It does have a free trial. You can play with it. It does some things that you may not do with some other tools, such as accessing SEO mode. I think brand voice, you can probably create something like that with a GPT, but things like that. Machined, on the other hand, it just creates content. As it says here, instantly create content clusters that boost your organic traffic. The point to machined is, if I'm writing blog posts, my goal of the blog post, of course, is to educate the people reading the post, but I'm also trying to get SEO juice out of it. I am trying to use the post to be able to increase my online profile, to have the search engines send more traffic my way. And that's the point to machined. And part of the point to that, and the reason I like this tool, is Google does a really good job of saying, if your content is crappy AI spun up content, then we're going to ding you for it. And it has nothing to do with AI. It has to do with the crappy content part. But if your content, regardless of how it's created, is useful to people reading it, and they get really good at figuring that out, then we're going to send more people to you. That's the point to machined. If you're writing a blog post, trying to write something that's good, that's going to be useful to people, and personally I think that's the only reason to write a blog post, then machined is going to help you. The cluster piece is a little different, where what it's doing is it's allowing us to take a topic and then a subtopic and then keywords and writing posts based on those. So not only is it writing the blog post, it's creating a little SEO strategy for us also. I'm going to log in here real quick. So as soon as you log in, what you'll see here are, in this case, I've created some topics before. They're in clusters. And then if you haven't created any, you can come in here and create your own cluster. And you'll see here, you pick a topic, and you'll see it does the subtopic and then the tertiary topic. I just say tertiary to make me sound like I know what I'm talking about. Third level of a topic. Audience is who it's for, which is really nice. When we talk about creating really good prompts, audience is always one of the things we talk about along with outcome. And so it will use both of those. And then you have an option. There's a manual option on the paid version, and then there's an autopilot where it picks all the keywords for you. On the free version, to me at least, upfront, letting it pick stuff is probably the better way to go. So I am going to create a cluster for, let's do dogs. Yeah, they put dogs in there. And then dog trainers, and then off leash. I know nothing about any of those topics, which is why I'm putting that in there. We've got those. And our audience are young professionals. I know it said young professionals. I'm stealing that. There you go. And then I'm going to hit autopilot. By the way, the free version you see here, you get a cluster with 5 supporting articles for free. And you can do 3 clusters at a time for free also. And once they've been created, you can go back later and you can create more as you go. So it created my cluster. And now what it's done is it's actually picked 3 articles for me. It's done a few things. One is on the volume here. It tells me what the search volume is, tells me what the competition is for these articles and the keywords with them, some trends over time. And then, so that's the SEO side of it. The other side is where we can actually tweak it. So where when you write a prompt, you tweak things based on what you're telling it in natural language. Here, they're giving you some options. Let's say we want a very long article here. You get to pick the model you use. So we can use 4.0. It changes based on these, like 4.0 mini. And then you can pick a voice. Personally, dog training sounds like a friendly thing. The professional would be the voice I want to use for that. You can do first or third person, second person. I prefer to write as myself because that's what we're used to, as seeing blog posts coming from people. You can turn on research, and then most importantly on machined, which you don't see on every one of them, they have a humanizing option. If you hover over these and you go back later and look at machined, you can see exactly what each of these options do. And so then from there, you've got these blog posts, and you can tell it to go and write a post for you. When the article's done, you'll see the little ready here, and you can read the article by clicking on the read button. Pretty intuitive. And it's going to take you through, there's no image here, but it's going to show you the post. A couple things to note here when it comes to the post. And by the way, the spoiler alert, we're not going to go through all these posts and examples to compare and contrast every little thing. That's going to take forever. You're not going to watch the video. So instead, what I'm going to do is I will put links to the actual posts that were produced here in below in the show notes, so that if you want to take a look at them yourself, you can compare and contrast and see which option is best for you. But very quickly, it does a nice little thing here where it's creating a little table, benefits, what's the deal, which is really nice for reading. Like when I think of an AI blog post, I don't think of seeing that, but it did a nice job of that. It doesn't start off with some weird, when you say friendly for AI, we could try it on some of the other ones. They come up with some weird things like starting with, hey, dog training enthusiast. That doesn't sound good. This one doesn't. It starts off with some basic things like you were talking to somebody. So that's nice in there too. And then it goes through, again, more really great from perspective, being able to see the different pieces in there, breaking things up, not just doing bullet points and paragraphs. So that's what machined does. I do want to say, when it comes to machined, I mentioned it's free. There's a free version, so that piece is free, and you get your 3 clusters, your 5 articles per cluster at a time. What isn't free actually is the back end of that. You have to hook up machined to an API for OpenAI to do the generation. So it's actually using your account to grab the juice. The production piece of it is giving it instructions, and it's putting in the prompts and doing all that for you. But it's using your API credits to generate the data. I have a video, put it in the link below, about how to set up your own OpenAI account. When we're talking about credits, we're talking fractions of pennies most times. Like I would say I have 32 articles a month, and don't hold me to this, but I write maybe 32 to 50 articles a month, and it costs me in the $6 to $7 to $8 range, something like that, to generate those depending on which ChatGPT model I'm using for that. It's pretty reasonable if you're trying to use it and streamline things. So that's machined there. It is nice to have that. It even tells you how long the article is, how many words, and how long it's going to take to read through it. So that's a pretty cool option there. As you want to create more articles, I just created that one article right now. You can come back in, write more as you go, and put those in there. But for now, we're going to leave that as is, so you can see what a blog writing tool does for you, and then try some other things ourselves that are 100% free. And then we'll go from there. So There are no charges to it. It's just on ChatGPT and Claude. It used to be, some of it was paid. All of it's free now, at least as of today. All of these options are free. So here we are on ChatGPT. And we're going to look at two options here. One is just writing your own prompts and creating blog posts from that. And the other option are using GPTs, which may be more the preferred option if you don't want to have to learn how to engineer prompts and that type of thing. A GPT is basically a prompting system somebody created that allows you to then put in your information to tweak it. Let's say a blog post, as we're talking about today, and it asks you, hey, what's the blog post about? And then it creates the blog post for you. And that's what the GPTs do. When you go to ChatGPT here, you'll see we have Explore GPTs. And if I click on that, it's going to take me to a search. I can break it down by topic, like in our case, writing. And so we have Write For Me, Humanized. We looked at humanizing an article on Machined, AI humanizer. So we're obviously all trying to make it seem more human and less AI-ish. Or you can do a search up here, and because those are just like writing in general. Let's say blog posts, SEO. Let's see what we get back. SEO and blog post and blog writing pro. So I'm just going to pick that one because it seems to fit the bill. And just like any search, you can see it's got lots of people, conversations is how many people have tried it, used the prompt to write things. And then 4.2 stars. That's pretty good for these options here. I can hit start chat. And now you see it looks like the regular ChatGPT chat, but in this case, it's actually going to run through that GPT somebody has trained on the back end. Gives you a little bit of information about it. Gives you some conversation starters here if you want those also. So you can run a content audit for this URL, run a blog wizard by using the steps below, or generate keyword suggestions for a topic. I'm going to pick the second one, run a blog wizard by using the step-by-step blog generator. And so it's going to take me through. And you'll see before we start, if you write an article, you can use server as an app, which is cool. You're right at. So first, what's the main keyword that I want to target? What do I want to target? I want to target off-leash dog training, right? And use the format of the keyword is, so it's being very specific. And so I've put it in its format, and I'm going to hit enter, and it's probably going to prompt me for something else. So just like Machine did, it's giving me 5 options for articles that are SEO friendly, like Machine did. And then they say it's trying to attract clicks. So I've got my different articles here, just like I did before. Please choose the number that's corresponding with it. It's nice when they give me instructions like that, so I know which one to do. I'm going to just do the very first one because I am so invested in off-leash dog training that I want to make sure I pick the right one. This GPT created 2 different options for me. So you'll see here, I've got option 1 for an outline and option 2 for an outline. So we're not to the post yet, but just options for an outline. I can read through those and pick the ones I want. As I mentioned, I'm very invested in this dog training thing, so I read them very carefully and chose the one I wanted the most. He didn't do that at all. I just picked option 2. So after we picked that option for the outline, it goes through and gives us some more detailed, they call it a content brief, more detailed outline. And if we're happy with that, we can continue. And it's created the full article for us with the title and each of the sections that it mentioned in the outline, along with an FAQ at the end. I bet you I could check and see the number of words, but I bet you it's about 1,800 words, 1,700 words, something like that. So it does give us the option if we want to expand it, yes or no. I'm going to expand it because we're comparing to Machined. I said very long, so that would be more appropriate comparison to see a little longer article from here. And so it has expanded it, and it's a little longer. I will say, let's take a look like we did at the Machined article as far as the sort of the timbre, the feel for the article. It's a little more machining, no pun intended, versus Machined, but it's not a horrible. I'm going to put the post, as I mentioned below, there will be a link for it so you can compare this to the Machined post. But also want to mention, if we just copy this here, and we go back to those GPTs we were looking at the beginning, we noted that there is a lot of stuff on the humanizer side. So I'm going to go into this AI humanizer here real quick, and I'm going to take that post we just created, and we'll do this. And I'm not even going to say anything to it. I'm lazy. I'm just going to put my post in there, and let it figure out what I'm trying to do from there as far as trying to humanize this article a little bit more. So it's just a tip there. If you want to do multiple steps, you can use multiple GPTs and get to sort of the end result that you're looking for. Or as we looked at Machined, to just do one thing and it spits everything out for you. So that's options you can choose to decide what the best thing is for you. So those are the first two. Then we're doing Machined, where it does everything for you. And then the next option is to use some of these pre-built GPTs and let it guide you through to write the blog post article. And then option sort of 3-ish that I have here is creating your own prompts. Creating your own prompts have a benefit in that you get to make them exactly what you want. The downside is you have to know exactly what you want, and you have to know or experiment with exactly what you want the outcome to be. But if you really like to be DIY, total DIY, that is an option. I'm back here on the ChatGPT main page. I'm going to switch over just because I like to. Nope, I'm already there. To O1 Mini. I just like that model for these posts. And I have a prompt that I keep in Google Docs. I'll give you the prompt, not majorly secretive stuff. So I'll have a link to it below. But I'm going to paste my prompt in here. And you're going to see this whole thing is a pretty lengthy prompt. It's probably as long, if not longer, than some blog post articles, but I've designed it to do what I want it to do. And so there's the upside to that. When I click on this, it's going to go through and it's going to read what my prompt was. And I also have instructions in there. So I told it, I'm going to give it a title and a focus keyword, and it will then generate the post for me. If you don't want to do that piece, you can still have ChatGPT create the title and a keyword for you. You would just go in there and say, and just tell ChatGPT to do that. It'll spit it out. And then you can put your prompt in here for the article itself and spit that out also. And so I have a title and keywords, the joys and aggravations of off-leash dog training, the 3 reasons to leave it to the pros. That actually is a decent title. I'm not sure ChatGPT could have done that. And then the keyword, of course, is off-leash dog training, like it has been for the other articles. And so then we run that baby, and it spits out the results. A couple things. I have been cutting the video while each of the posts have been generated. Timing-wise, just to give you a comparison, Machined took a really long time. Doing a GPT was medium. ChatGPT O1 Mini, at least currently, as I'm using it in my own blog post, was almost like that. Literally within a second or two, it generated this post. Just like the other two, I'm going to put the actual post content below so you can see what it generated and you can compare and contrast. I think it does a good job of coming up with a fairly humanized article. The other part of this is because I did create the prompt myself, it does just what I want. I always ask it to create a call to action at the end of the article. I ask it to give me a meta description because I put that in my SEO software for the post itself on WordPress. And then I go to Flux and I create an image for that feature post image that you put on a blog post. And I asked it to create the text that I put into that tool to give me the type of image I want, which can be an art in of itself to give a prompt to an image generating tool to give you something that doesn't look just really bad. Because I wrote the prompt myself, I am allowed to do that, and it created it based on the information I gave it. So that'll do it for our investigation into blog post writing tools or doing DIY. If you like this video and you're interested in more videos like this, make sure you head on down and mash the subscribe button and look at the playlist on this channel for AI versus DIY, the series. And you'll find more information about doing blog posts, creating other written content, image generation, website development, and all different things to help your business using AI, whether it's a prepaid tool or doing it yourself. And in future videos, we're going to take this one step further on the blog post writing. I'm going to show you how to automate blog post writing and posting of those blog posts to WordPress all in one quick bell swoop. Until next time, make sure you leave a comment below for other types of videos you'd like to see in the AI versus DIY series.